Midlife has a way of quietly asking us to pay attention. I want to talk today about our 60s, not as a consolation prize, not as the afterword to youth, and definitely not as a decade we should feel grateful for simply because we reached it. Though right now, I won't take that for granted either. This decade deserves our full attention and appreciation, not as a soft landing, but as a chapter with its own authority. Our 60s are not a footnote. They are a chapter we finally get to write with clarity. And I think it's time we claimed that. Here's what I've noticed. The things that matter now aren't grand, they're precise. A truly great pair of jeans can change an entire day. You know the ones. They fit exactly as they should. The length is perfect. They don't pinch. They don't sag. They make your butt look great. They don't require optimism. They just work and they fit like a dream. This is the decade when we stop settling for almost right. We stop keeping things that should work but don't. Oh my gosh, have I cleaned out my closet. We stop tolerating discomfort out of habit. We invest in what actually makes us feel good. Shoes are a perfect example. Heels, for me, it's complicated. Does anyone say heels anymore? Are they called something else now? I still love them sometimes, but I'm equally happy, maybe even happier in boots that let me walk for hours. And that's the point. We get to choose now. I paint my nails these days either a soft pink or a deep bright red. It's a small little ritual. I just have those two choices, slightly indulgent, quietly essential, and proof that I still care about adorning myself. But now it's entirely for me. And that distinction matters. There's something we don't talk honestly about or enough, and maybe even transparently enough. The awareness of being seen doesn't disappear with age. That female sense, that flicker when someone notices us, it's still there. That is a highly developed twofold skill, one for the male gaze and the other for the less desirable male gaze. Do I need it? No. Do I notice when it happens? Yes. And both things can be true. I can notice it and I can also not need it. Many of us were raised to mold ourselves towards the male gaze, to please, to soften, to stay agreeable, to take up less space. And that programming runs deep. For a long time, I believed I had fully escaped it. But no, there are still times when I feel it. But when I look back honestly, I raised my children inside very traditional gender roles. They watched me work hard to please the man in my life. They absorbed that atmosphere without even naming it. They were swimming in it. The girls were raised to appeal to the male gaze. The boy was raised to help the girls. My children and I talk about this now. They're all grown up and can see the water around them now. Sometimes our conversations land lightly and with some humor, and sometimes with more depth and consideration. Naming this isn't self-criticism, it's clarity. We can recognize the conditioning without surrendering to it. And one of the great freedoms of our 60s is this. We can notice without needing. Menopause changed everything for me. I simply stopped caring as much about what men thought of me. Not dramatically, not rebelliously, just quietly. And that shift has been profound. The noise is gone, especially now in a political landscape where women's autonomy is being contested in very real ways. It feels essential not to hand over our sovereignty, my body, myself. My tolerance for nonsense has dropped sharply, especially nonsense from men my age, and I'm grateful for that. We do not suffer fools anymore. I don't dress for the male gaze. I groom for my own pleasure. I don't ask whether my clothes make me look thinner. I don't chase relevance. I want to feel physically and emotionally good in my clothing, and more importantly, in my body, because that's the most important part. And that feels like authority. Of course, aging brings new considerations: protein, calcium, weight-bearing exercise, bone density. In my attempt to get more protein, I tried Javi coffee. I don't know if any of you have tried it. A total marketing scheme, but guess what? I like it. It took a little getting used to, but I like it. I also found creative uses for cottage cheese, which I never saw coming. But this is what 60 looks like. Trying things we once dismissed, finding satisfaction in unexpected places, experimenting without self-judgment. We are complex, contradictory, still evolving. And we paint our nails and drink protein coffee. We notice when we're noticed without needing validation. We celebrate jeans that fit and shoes that don't hurt with equal enthusiasm. This is our time, not in spite of our age, but because of it. So I want to ask you, how are you embracing yourself in this season of life? A ritual, a routine, a small pleasure that matters now? Tell me in the comments. And if this conversation speaks to you at all, you're always welcome to join me over on Substack at the Midlife Intelligencer. We keep going there, thoughtfully, honestly, and without apology. And please consider subscribing. You show those algorithms who's boss. This is the work of midlife, noticing what matters now and giving yourself permission to choose it.